Greetings, comrades. I'm here with my October book haul, or part of it, okay? It's going to have to be done in more than one part, like the September one was, because I have once again gone kind of overboard. If that's even possible with buying books, which I don't really think it is. But I had some vision problems, and all my energy for reading and looking at fine print and numbers went towards my work and my job, so I didn't read for about a year and a half. I hardly read at all. And I'm kind of trying to make up for it now. So I've gotten a lot of books in the last couple of months, and I'm getting back into reading, and I'm having a good time with it. Not that I didn't have books already to read, but I kind of wanted to get into the steampunk genre, and so I've gotten a few books into that area. So anyway, let's get on with this. One of the first books I have that I got that I want to show you for November is this book. It's called The Green Glass House by Kate Milford, Milford. And one of the reasons why I got this, it sounds interesting, but also Words of a Reader. Her channel, she's it's not really a challenge, I guess it's an invitation, is to devote November to children's books, or at least some of it. So I got this when I was in the bookstore last time picking up some other books, and so I'm going to read it. It's The Green Glass House. It's about an old smuggler's inn. It's in the winter. Things are usually pretty quiet about that time, but people start showing up. Apparently some kind of chaos ensues, and the young son, or adopted son, I think, of the innkeeper and the cook's daughter start trying to figure out the mysteries of the house and what it has to do with them. Anyway, it sounds kind of interesting, so I'm going to check that out. And I like the cover, it's a nice cover. I apologize for leaning over, I just don't have room to put anything. The next one is another children's book, The Wells Bequest by Polly Shulman, Shulman. I know I should put links to all these things down there, but I'm not really sure how to do that. I'll try and figure it out. Anyway, The Wells Bequest is another children's novel about time travel and Orson Welles and Nikola Tesla and things like that. Apparently there's a young boy who at one point he sees a miniature time machine shows up in his bedroom, and the person who's in it is himself. So he has to try and figure that out and solve it and try and go back in time and all of this good kind of stuff. So it sounds like fun. So that one's on my list. The next one is called The Glass Sentence, and it's by S.E. Grove, Grove. And I like this cover. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. It's very pale kind of thing, but it turns out this cover is actually like parchment paper. It's very thin. You can kind of see through it. And then underneath this is the cover. I'm not sure how well that will show up. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, this is not working out. Anyway, something like that. It's really cool. It looks like a good cover. And the guy, when I was checking out, said he'd heard really good things about this book, and he wanted to read it as well. It's kind of well, there's this thing that happens called the disruption, apparently, and all the different countries or continents in the world are thrown into different time periods. Some are prehistoric, some are science fiction in the future, all this kind of stuff. And the young woman who's the protagonist, and map making became just a whole different level of beast here after that happened. Her parents were explorers and map makers, and they went off on a journey at one point, an expedition, and they never came back. And she's been learning how to do this as well, and then her teacher disappears, and so she and a friend of hers begin to delve into whatever's going on with this and trying to figure out what's going on. And so it sounds really good as well. And got a good recommendation from the guy behind the counter at the bookstore. The next one, I don't think is really, this is maybe YA, more adult stuff. It's called Fiddlehead by Cherie Priest, or Cherry, Cherie. I'm not sure how she pronounces it. This is a steampunk novel. I've been getting into steampunk. I heard she's a good author for that, so I decided to check that out. And I have two more steampunk books here. The first one is Homunculus. I don't know. Why do people name books with words that you can't pronounce? Anyway, I heard that this was really good. Apparently it's one of the earlier works of steampunk that's kind of one of the founding father kind of things. It's by James Blaylock, and it's the first of this series with this character, Langdon St. Ives. And then when I was in the used bookstore, I saw another one in the series. I don't know if it's the second one or what order it is, but the Aylesford Skull that, I thought, well, if I like it, it's really good, I'll go ahead and get this one because it's a used copy and it was inexpensive. The next one is called The Glass Books of the Dream Eaters. This is another, I think, steampunk genre. Great cover. I really like this typography and design. There's you probably can't see it, but there's a faint picture of a woman behind it. That part's, I don't know, unless it was just actually just now drawn for this. It may just be an old Dover thing that's been tinted, but it's a really nice designed book. And again, I think it's another steampunk kind of book. So the next one is The Anatomist's Apprentice by Tessa Harris. This is like, I don't know if it's a Victorian or Edwardian, but long time ago. Anyway, back in the early days of, I guess, early forensic medicine. Anyway, it's a murder mystery, so that one sounds good, and I'm a big murder mystery fan. The other one is The Spirit Glass Charade by Colleen Gleason. This is the second in the Miss Brahms and Miss Stoker book. I did a review on that earlier. The main characters are the younger sister of Bram Stoker and the niece of Sherlock Holmes. And it's also a middle grade. I guess I found it in the middle grade section, so I'm going to count it as children's book. I found and read the first one, which I think is called The Clockwork Scarab. And I've got a review up of it if you want to look it up. And it was good. There were some things about it I didn't care for, but it was good enough to get the second book and read that as well. And it's a nice premise of having those two characters, I think, and how they are so different. Because Miss Stoker is a vampire hunter, and Miss Holmes is obviously, all the little gray matter type of person, and how they have to kind of work together to solve the problem that is presented to them. So I'm curious to see what this one is about as well. And so that was pretty good, and like I said, I do have a review of that up if anybody wants to look at it. This one is called Pagan Springs by G.M. Malliet. Is it Malay? I don't know. Malay? I'm sorry, I apologize. This is the third book in this series. It's about a man who, I think it worked for like MI5 or something similar to that, and he leaves that and he becomes a vicar, or I think it's a vicar. I'm not real sure about the distinctions of the English clergy. Okay, so I'm going to call him a vicar. He becomes a vicar in a small town, but these are also murder mysteries, and I think this one was Pagan Spring. The first one took place in autumn, the next one was winter, this one is spring. They're pretty cool. I kind of like the covers on them as well, and they were good books. The first two I've read, autumn and spring, and I liked them a lot. Or autumn and winter. I liked it a lot, so I'm going to, and that author's written some others that I want to read as well. This next book is by Jane Gardam, Gardam. It's called Caruso's Daughter. This is about a young woman who, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, I didn't take the time to read the blurb right before I did this. She goes to live, for whatever reason, she goes to live with a couple of aunts of hers that are like out in the Irish hinterlands on the sea, kind of away from, I guess, big cities and things like that, and she's like not happy about it. I don't know why not, but sounds pretty good to me. But she's a kid, she didn't like it, I guess, or whatever. But this story is about her life, and she ends up staying there even after she grows up, and staying, and it's about her life there in this, I guess, fairly remote, small town kind of area. I'm not making it sound very interesting, I know, but apparently the writing is supposed to be very well. A friend of mine who works in the bookstore highly recommended this book to me, and I'd kind of been looking at it anyway, so that kind of sealed the deal, and I went ahead and got it. So, Yeah, read the blurb. Anyway, it's supposed to be really good and really well written, and maybe one of those kind of quiet novels, which actually I kind of like, where everything's very subtle, um, and you don't have like car chases and explosions and things like that going on all the time. So that's the first part of my book haul. I'm going to cut that off here. I do have a couple of more bags of books down there to go through. I will try to get them up tomorrow, perhaps. We'll see. I'll try to get all these uploaded this weekend if I can. And okay, that's it for now. Hopefully, some of these books will inspire you to check them out, look into them, see. I don't have a lot of time to go into them too much, but that's what it is. So, anyway, that's it for now. Happy trails, happy reading. Bye.